For the past 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, Nigeria has been having challenges that are beckoning and waiting for answers and solutions. That is why we are bringing to you our program, State of the Nation. And this is going to come up on our flagship program this morning on ITV. I am hereby inviting you to join me, BAKARE, your host, on State of the Nation, so that we can hasten the motions that brings national development. It's going to be a regular basis on Tuesdays. Make it a date with me. I'll be there waiting for you, and then we shall discuss Nigeria on an holistic level.
Good morning, Nigerians, and welcome to our grand program, State of the Nation, where we hasten the motions for national development. This program is not a solo program of the station, but a program for every Nigerian, because we are all concerned in what happens to us, what we do about it, and the solutions we find about it. That is why I will want you all to chip in your comments, your opinions. In actual fact, I would rather have your annoyances, your sorrows, and your discomfort as comments. It's there for you on the screen for you to access and come up with your own idea of how we are going to make Nigeria a better place for us all. Like my people say, if the heavens is going to fall, it's not the business of one person. If Nigeria is going to be great, collectively we are going to make it great. That is why I'm telling you this morning, make State of the Nation your regular program so that we can juxtapose our ideas and make Nigeria a better place. This morning we are going to be discussing a very, 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 very cogent topic. I'll tell you this, I am not going to delude myself by saying everything is fine. No. We are in dire straits. We have challenges. And by God's grace, we will find solutions to them. What we are harping on this morning is corruption and insecurity, the antithesis to good governance. I will say that again. Corruption and insecurity, the antithesis to good governance. Fellow Nigerians, we are not having it easy. And I'll tell you this for free. Most of what is happening to us are self-inflicted. Totally self-inflicted. And that is why I have my amiable friend and brother here in the studio, Dr. Abdurrahman Abu Amiso. He is a researcher, he is an analyst, he is a social critic, and most of all, he is a Nigerian. Welcome to the program, my brother.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
You're
Good morning, Nigerians.
Yes, Nigerians, what are we going to do about the dire straits we've found ourselves? We are going to deliberate on corruption and insecurity that is making good governance difficult. We are all Nigerians, we know what is happening. We know the level of corruption both in high places and in low places. And I will tell you this, when there is corruption, we are inadvertently breeding insecurity. Because I'll tell you this for free, those our kids are looking at us. They are not totally stupid. They are not even stupid. They will be wondering, what are you doing as a father that I cannot do? But don't let me go too far. Let me put it across to my brother here, the researcher, who has done a lot of researches on what has made Nigeria one, on situations we found ourselves, on the challenges in between, and now we can surmount the challenges. My brother, I would like to ask you this. Corruption is with us. Don't let us delude ourselves. When it comes to corruption, we are one of the best. If there's any best in a bad thing, we are one of the best in corruption. And this has led to a lot of anomalies. The worst of it is our insecurity. What are your opening words about corruption and insecurity in Nigeria?
Well, thank you very much for the elaborate agenda setting introduction.
Thank you.
We just concluded a research that was supported by MacArthur Foundation, led by Center for Information Development Technology, CITAD.
CITAD, yes, yes.
And the focus of that very particular research was on the nexus between corruption and insecurity.
That's right.
And the title of the outcome of the research is The Compromised State.
Of course, yes, that's pretty true.
Insecurity, how corruption sustains insecurity.
That's right, that's right.
Now, what has been happening is simple. The essence of governance is to bring human and resources together to solve a problem.
Naturally, yes.
And for every society, there are challenges. These challenges has to do with the nature of the economy.
Of course, yes.
Now, the economy globally is dependent on interaction across board.
That's it.
That requires foreign direct investment. It requires some set of skills. The issues around unemployment and inequality can only be resolved when the economy is buoyant enough to employ people.
Absolutely.
Whether you're in private sector or you're in public sector. And even the private sector, to some reasonable extent, in third world countries are dependent on government patronage.
Of course,
they
yes.
provide services to government, and government in turn pays them. From this money, again, they create products that are either bought by individuals, groups, or government itself.
Again,
so you could see the centrality of government and governance in everything, in terms of infrastructure provisioning, in terms of physical security that we have in the security architecture that is encompassing the police, civil defense corps, the military, and so on, and the paramilitary. So security is central to human existence, and it is known to everybody. We don't need to quote any scholar to know that the essence of government and governance is to ensure that there is peace, orderliness, and stability for people to thrive.
That's right. It's important.
Now, what has been happening in Nigeria over time is what we call corruption. This corruption is part of man.
Naturally.
Because let us not say it as something that is abnormal.
It's not from outer space.
No, it's not from outer space. You know, man is a composition of two things, good
and bad. And even the ugly too.
So it's something that God has done. But the essence of government and governance, again, is to ensure that the bad in man is reduced to the barest minimum.
That's it.
So that's where we get the concept of live and let live.
That's right.
So that your own existence should not threaten my own existence.
Oh yeah, it doesn't impair it. It doesn't infringe.
It doesn't infringe on my own. So your affluence should not be my own poverty.
Naturally, yes, yes.
So this is where the problem lies, because the political, economic, and social interaction goes into the realm of psychological understanding of the differences between you and me in terms of status.
Thank you. Let me chip in one little question there. When you were saying my wealth should not be my own poverty. That is, there has to be a balance somewhere. There has to be a balance somewhere. You see, and now look at the situation we have on our hands. If you look at our system, the Nigerian system as is, like you rightly said, it is governance that drives the economy. But let me put it this way. It is politics that drives governance, and governance drives the economy. I'll add another thing to it. I'll go back again. It is the human being that drives the politics, that drives the governance, that drives the economy. Let's talk about the human being.
So, as if you knew where I was going to. Now, when you have a collection of good human beings, naturally, they decide to be good out of self-governance. What is self-governance? That I take actions that will not infringe, impinge, deny, deprive
my person,
your person, as well as others.
Good.
It's so that even if you are using the road, you use the road in such a way that you don't infringe on the right of other
users.
So you don't even need a traffic warden to stand to say, you come.
You go.
You don't need it.
Your intellect should be able to drive you.
This is one of the things that the Europeans are able to achieve.
Yes, of course, yes.
Self-governance.
Yes.
You don't need anybody to tell you that this is a green zone. It takes government a lot of amount to maintain it.
Or a zebra crossing or this.
Zebra crossing. You know, these are design signs that are supposed to... You don't need anybody to stand there.
I guess that is an element of attitude.
Yes.
Do we have the right attitude as you speak?
We don't. I'm coming to that. We don't.
Okay.
Then, in a society where you have a collection of very bad, uncaring people that are innately selfish, so what you get is deprivation.
Yes,
is
of course,
denial.
Of course, yes.
Is infringement,
course,
impunity.
Yes. Of course,
all of the negative attributes that, when put together, you will see a set of indisciplined people that are not capable of governing themselves. And that is why up to today, some people are advocating for the colonialists to come back to the colonizers, that we are not mature. It's not maturity, it's the right attitude.
Yes.
Because all of the things we pull together to say this is corruption, this is impunity, right?
Yes.
Are things and behaviors and attitude that has been displayed by a large percentage and number of people that are inhabiting a society, a community, a nation. And this is where the issues of trust comes in. Now, you are given position of authority. You are being paid salary to deliver houses, to deliver education, to deliver health, to deliver
whatever service out there.
Things that will make life more easier for the people.
Natural, yes.
And you took advantage of the situation to remove monies. And this is the problem with Nigeria. If you are able to get procurement right in this country, corruption would have been dealt with. Every problems you bring to government, what the civil servants are looking out for is how can we get contract out of this process. That is not bad, because government must contract.
Yes, of course, yes.
Government cannot do everything. Government must contract people to do it. But the challenge has always been that problems are only used as a justification to remove monies from the system that will be shared, and the problem will be left unsolved.
That, let me add a little bit to what you've just said in terms of public servants.
Yes.
Lately, we've had a lot of anomalies in the system. Yeah. The Federal Inland Revenue, we had they spend billions on refreshment. The NSA is telling us the monies that we voted for security is nowhere to be found. For it to come from him, there's an element of truth in it.
Yeah.
That some politicians are even saying civil servants are more corrupt than politicians, based on what you just said now. That they are the ones that make whatever they want to do possible. Yeah. You see, it becomes a truckload of anomalies, and it doesn't sound good for a normal human being to be that bad.
Yeah.
How do we change this personal attitude that breeds the corruption in us? Because it looks like it's ingrained in us.
Yeah.
It looks like it's ingrained. The average Nigerian is I don't know what to say about it. It's like we look at it as being the norm.
Yeah.
We shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Give me your insights on that, about the person. The person.
You see, unfortunately, what we've been doing over time is this. We have a problem. But because of the same corruption, we always do wrong diagnosis.
Intentionally.
And apply wrong
solutions to it.
And in doing that, it is our resources that are going down the drain. And that is why from 1960 to date, instead of Nigeria to be on top of our problems, the problems of Nigeria are on
top of us. Say us. We are in it together.
Yeah. So, and Nigeria, from a position of wealth, strength, potentials, has now attained the position of weakness.
Can you imagine that?
Why? It is because of this reason that you were given. You have a group of people that will go to an establishment to say, my constituency lacks A, B, C, D, E, F. And they put it in the budget. The same person goes with contractors. We've been seeing a lot. And there are things that we could not say on the TV because most of the works we did for organizations. But this is the problem. Government budget money to say, okay, we want to provide free education to Nigerians. And the man in charge of free education and free education books decide to sell them in the open market.
Can you imagine that? And
people feel it's not their business to report such a person.
They even patronize him and buy the books that were supposed to be given to you for free.
So Nigerians are even unshockable.
I like that language.
They are unshockable because I don't know how we don't see corruption as corruption. And one funny thing about us, my corruption is not corruption, but Bola Bakare's corruption is corruption.
Can you imagine that?
This is the irony.
Can you imagine that?
So whatever I'm doing with my office, and all of us have turned our offices into personal fiefdom. Our private businesses.
Yes.
So it is no longer government business, but it's Abdraman's office. It is Bola Bakare's office. No, it's not public office
any longer.
Any longer.
So they do whatever they like.
Whatever they like. And before we can get this right, that was the question you asked. It has to start from government.
From government or from the people in government?
No, from government. It's a two-way thing.
People run the government.
Changes come in two ways. Either from the top or from the bottom.
Naturally, yes.
Or from the bottom.
Naturally, yes.
But the people from the bottom, right, do not wield power, so much power.
To change anything.
To change anything. Let us dichotomize one thing that people tend to confuse. People wield power on the day of election.
That's right.
After election.
And it ends there.
It ends there.
It ends there.
Because Nigerians are too comfortable with this issue of corruption to the extent that when you're talking about corruption, right, people don't see it as anything because they don't even understand the impact of corruption on the society. First, where there is corruption, there is going to be deprivation.
Yes, of course, yes.
There is going to be impunity.
Yes.
There is going to be abuses.
There is, yes.
There is going to be embezzlement of public funds.
Yes.
All the negatives that you could use to depict an undesirable situation is what you get in an environment that is infested with corruption.
Good.
And in such situation, insecurity.
Before we go into insecurity, we are trying to tidy up the element of the corruption that gives us the insecurity. I would like to ask you this. Our institutions of anti-corruption, the ICPCs, the EFCC, the CCBs, what are they doing? You see, now that we have been able to identify our challenge, and based on our challenge, the government has put in place institutions as a check and balance to that. What are they doing right? What are they doing wrong? What are they not doing? Are they up to speed? Are they necessary? And if they are necessary, what are they doing?
Okay, before I answer your question.
Go ahead. Just go ahead. Nigerians are listening.
I was discussing with my mentor, who is a professor, and we're trying to provide solutions to Nigeria's
that is what we really want. That is what we really want.
And I said to him, he made a lot of points about the problem of Nigeria. I said, well, let me tell you the problem of Nigeria. Too many certificates, right? Very few people with knowledge.
Good. That's the main thing. I even said it I was at a forum. Sorry to interject you. I was at the forum. It was a graduation, not a forum. I know what I told the kids. I said, if you have been here today to pick up this certificate, you have missed it. You are here today to pick up this certificate so that you can go out there and show people who went to school that you are smarter than they are. which goes in tandem with what you were saying, that we have too many certificates and no knowledge.
No knowledge.
Can you continue, please?
No knowledge. And secondly, unfortunately for Nigeria, we do not have established process of recruiting people.
Can you beat that?
So the good guys are out there on the street. The other guys that have made so much money will saturate the system with their CVs, hunting for appointment, because appointment is seen as the easiest way to riches.
Yes.
Not service delivery. So the innovation and the thinking that's supposed to go into governance,
it's not there.
It's not there. And that is what is happening with the anti-corruption agencies. So most of the anti-corruption agencies are waiting for corrupt acts to be committed
before they make their move.
Before they make their moves. So it means they are putting the...
So they don't have any diagnosis on ground. They are waiting for the accident to happen.
The intellectual rigor that's supposed to go into that is lost. So, for instance, if you give me anti-corruption agency today, I do just basically two things. The first is to investigate what has happened before, and using that knowledge to forestall what will happen in the future, so that our anti-corruption fight will become proactive.
Proactive.
Not reactive.
Okay.
Because if you talk about reactive fight to corruption, fighting corruption reactively, what that does is, first, the amount of resources and energy that is spent on investigation, the amount of money and energy spent on prosecution before conviction, then they take the person to our prisons and we still feed the person. In all of this very particular endeavor, it requires huge sums of money, and that is why if you see their budget, the anti-corruption, for instance, what does it take us to say, okay, going forward, any road we are building in this country, a kilometer of road will not be more than X amount of money. And any contractor that is going to handle such roads, we are saying that that road must last 20 years.
It becomes part of the guarantee you're going to be given to get that contract.
To get the contract.
It's important.
And that whatever happened on that road, whether potholes or whatever,
you are accessible. You must fix it.
You must fix it.
Thank you. You see, now that we've been able to look at some of the institutions we've put in place, let's look at the avenues of laundering money.
Yes.
Let's look at the banks and the BDCs.
Yes.
Before you go ahead, we've agreed now that there are situations where most Nigerians in public service are interested in turning that office into a private business and maximizing the element of looting our treasury. Funny enough, there is no way you can loot money. You need somewhere to keep it.
Yes.
Because the monies that they are looting, people are looting in Nigeria is bigger than your bedroom. So you need somebody to do it for you.
Yes.
And the easiest place, the one and only place, our banks, and in some instances, our BDCs, where they convert a huge sum of money into pocket size.
Yes.
What are we doing about sanitizing these institutions that take care of 90% of our money laundering? We need to look at them. We need to tidy them up. We need to put checks and balances in place. What do you think we should do? You've done a lot of research here.
So who will do that?
That is a big one.
There is nothing.
Nothing is going to happen.
And that was why from the very beginning I said the only entity, the only person that can fix the problem is government.
Of course, yes. Of course,
and this government, as you said, is populated by people.
Human beings, yes.
And these people are after their interests, not the collective interest of the people. So what has changed in Nigeria is a misnomer that has become normal. Is the primacy of private interest over public interest.
Yes.
Now, the challenge is how do we reverse it so that public interest will now supersede private interest. If public interest should supersede private interest, then we will not have lamentations.
I
we will not have people
too.
that will pick arms against the system out of frustration.
Yeah, I guess so too.
We won't have people whose rights have been trampled upon over and over again, who are entitled to some things that have not been given to them, that has pushed them against the state, and they feel that the only way to fight back is to pick up arms and start robbing people that are working hard every day to earn a living.
Thank you very much. At this juncture, we are moving on. We are breaking it down in good bits and pieces so that you can follow us, you can reason with us, and together we can juggle our ideas. We've been able to put together situations of corruption, how we come about it, the element of the human factor, the political factor, the governmental factors. We've been able to put them there for you to see. The parties, the institutions we've put in place that they should run checks and balances for us, we've looked at them, and then like my brother here said, well, they can do better. Yeah. The institutions that handle the money laundering for them, he was even with the question, what do we do about them? And the bottom line is, it is the government that we have in place that will take care of these things for us. Now we are moving away from corruption to the other factor, which is insecurity. Like he said a few minutes ago, I would like to tell us, I use the word us, Nigerians, one simple truth. Whatever is happening to us is self-inflicted. We asked for it, we got it in spades. Here we are, seated. A man will sit down and loot our commonwealth. I'm not saying steal, loot. Loot is a word that is used if you go to war and you come back with largesse. That's loot. Because you did it with high-handedness and you are being extremely unfair. Now you have looted our commonwealth. And our kids, I keep saying this, if you are smart, what do you think your son is? Your son is smarter. These our kids are seeing us, seeing what we are doing. You know what they came up with? They are now telling us that if you can use the pen in your office to steal our money, I will use a gun to take it from you. Can you see that syndrome? Fellow Nigerians, is that a good syndrome for us? And the baseline is, it was self-inflicted, we caused it, we asked for it, and we are getting the repercussion as we speak. My brother, Dr. Amisu, insecurity is now on us. It has dawned on us. It's now living with us. It's chasing us here and there. Yeah. There is no way in Nigeria now you can make a trip of 100 kilometers without praying for the whole 100 kilometers. Yeah. You wake up in the morning, my kids are being abducted from schools. Not one, not two. They are abducted in their hundreds.
Yes.
My brother, let us factor this element of corruption into this, our self-inflicted insecurity, and let us start looking at ways around it. Let's look at it as a challenge, and let's look at it with a broad scope of how we can get ourselves out of this. Please.
Well, one of the things I've preoccupied myself with in the last 2 years.
I'm willing to hear it, and I'll probably give you whatever time you want to educate us.
It's a research.
I know.
It's a nexus between liberal democracy and insecurity.
Thank you. Go ahead.
It is becoming clearer by the day, and other persons are beginning to focus on this issue I'm going to raise about the nexus between liberal democracy, or liberalism if you like.
That's right.
And insecurity. A couple of research has been done, even in Russia, when Russia transited from communism to market economy. And part of the challenge they faced was the issues around corruption, looting of public resources. And the issue there was, and this is the study, that liberalism usually activate the criminal tendencies in people.
Of course, yes. Of course, yes.
Because it comes with element of consumerism, materialism, freedom, right? And opening up of the economy to foreign capital. Under the military, there was no ShopRite in Nigeria.
That's right.
There was no ShopRite. As good as ShopRite is, because it provides employment, it affords people avenue to invest. But again, it popularizes a culture, the culture of self-fulfillment, by going to shop
at ShopRite.
ShopRite. Where
that personal delusion.
And then when you go to ShopRite, you see a lot of young guys and young girls snapping pictures that they will put on Instagram, on Facebook.
Yeah, I've been here.
Thank you very much. So others that do not have the wherewithal to participate in that very particular adventure,
we'll look for ways and means to make it possible.
We'll look for ways and means.
Naturally, yes. Naturally, yes.
Then the second thing again is our own politics in itself fuels corruption.
Which inadvertently gives us our insecurity.
So most of the politicians think about what they can get from the system more than what they can give to their constituency, because they know that their election is not based on any ideology, but how much they will be able to spend on the day of election.
In other words, that makes them loot the treasury some more so that they can dispense the money on that just 1 week of electioneering process.
Between when the late Tony Anini was heading Ministry of Works and Housing under President Olusegun Obasanjo, it was alleged that the sum of 306 billion meant for the construction of roads across the country was taken without the construction of the roads. And it was reported that when he was asked what he did with the money, he said he used it to deliver the party, the party in this region.
Can you imagine that grand malfeasance?
Yes. So assuming that money went into the construction of roads as at that time,
what will we be having these days?
These days. Now, the independent power project, where we lost $16 billion US, go and check. There is a connection between that amount we lost and the 2007 elections. Fast track to the last administration before this, the 2.1 billion US that was meant for the procurement of arms and ammunition to fight the insurgents in the Northeast that disappeared. It has connection with the 2015 elections.
So we are busy having a myriad of bad situations.
Yeah, the Siemens scandal. Go and check. There is one book that has been neglected by Nigerians. It was written by Reverend Father Oje Kamino. It is titled The Ghana Must Go Republic. It documented a lot of abuses and anomalies that happened between 1999 and 2007. Because that was supposed to be the foundation of our democracy.
That's right. Was it good? Was the foundation good?
It wasn't. Was it fair? That was why it titled the book Ghana Must Go Republic. Okay. How bribery and corruption was used to undermine the only legitimate institution of governance, which is the legislature. And where you have a very bad legislature that is self-seeking,
nothing is going to happen.
Nothing is going to happen because the conscience of the polity, the conscience of democracy,
that's been mortgaged.
The foundation of rule of law has been dealt fatal blow. And that was what led to what happened in the lifetime of this administration, where you have the National Assembly withholding budget for close to 6 months.
It was a bad one for our economy.
For our economy, for everything.
For governance, for everything, for even livelihood on its own.
So people that are supposed to ask questions, Mr. Minister, why is it that we gave you 10 billion and we are seeing darkness up to this moment? The same person is saying, no, we can increase the 10 billion to 20 billion. To 200 billion if you settle us. So in such a situation, and that is why I said we will fix the problem.
Yes.
Because all the democratic avenues that's supposed to fix the issues around insecurity has been badly compromised.
Okay.
You have the police, for instance, the police and the court. There was this baseline study that we participated in. I participated in that. And it was an alternative dispute resolution mechanism that was fashioned for a community that was perpetually on each other's throat or at each other's throat. And what was it? The local communities come together to solve their own problems. So if there is dispute, they call the elders together to resolve the dispute. And the dispute is between elders and farmers. Unfortunately, do you know what we found? There was equally farmers clash.
Can you beat that?
So when we start talking with the people, you know what they told us? We no longer go to the police, we no longer go to the courts. Why? Because they see them as instrument of extortion. And these are the representative of the state that are supposed to guide and protect
the people
by becoming arbiter that will solve what? Their
immediate problems.
So what used to happen, and they were saying it freely, that if you take case to court, right? You that took the case to court, you are not free.
You are not even sure you're going to win or lose.
The person you took to court is not equally safe. And people view that as, you hate me, that was why you took me to court to spend my resources. And the revenge.
Let me add another question, and then because time is not on our side.
Yes.
Lately, Mr. President appealed to the judiciary, based on what he just said now, yes, that they should assist in the fight against corruption,
yes,
so that we can have a situation where we lower our insecurity.
Yes.
It goes in tandem with what you said, and then I just believe in it. And another thing I'm looking at about this insecurity, which I just want you to use as a closing word.
Yeah.
The United States of America refused to shift Africa Command to Nigeria or to anywhere near where the greatest war in Africa is happening, or insurgency is happening here in Nigeria, Chad, Cameroon, and the rest of it. What did we do wrong? And what is the best approach for us to have the best of international help for this? Make it very short because time is not on our side. Make it your last word too.
Let me tell you this.
Go ahead.
Nigeria will be great again.
By God's grace, yes.
When we subordinate our private interest to the greater good, which is public interest.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. That is very, very all-encompassing. Yeah. We will have loved to continue with my brother here, Dr. Amisu. But at the same time, time is a constraint. Yeah. What we would like you to do on a regular basis is always tune in to ITV Abuja and Benin to learn more about what is going on and how you can be part of it, because nobody is in isolation. And for being part of it, I would like you to have our feedback mechanism. That right there on your screen, you have our email address. Kindly send in not just your opinion, send in your discomfort, your sorrows, the anomalies, so that we can together look for solutions to it. Don't go away. We'll be right back with our next interview.
For the past 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, Nigeria has been having challenges that are beckoning and waiting for answers and solutions. That is why we are bringing to you our program, State of the Nation. And this is going to come up on our flagship program this morning on ITV. I am hereby inviting you to join me, BAKARE, your host, on State of the Nation, so that we can hasten the motions that brings national development. It's going to be a regular basis on Tuesdays. Make it a date with me. I'll be there waiting for you, and then we shall discuss Nigeria on an holistic level.